Hello Rajivji, Kamal here from Mirasagi.com and a warm welcome to you today once again on our show Chat in Chai.
Pranam Kamalji, good morning, good to be here.
Pranam Rajivji, कैसे हैं आप?
Very good, how are you?
Very well, thank you. So Rajivji, a lot of our listeners have been tuned in on Mirasagi, have been listening to the latest updates that you've been giving on the immigration bill. So what can they look forward to now? Is there any development, any changes that you see?
Today is a very big day for immigration reform because today the House Republicans are supposed to meet and decide which way they want to go. Senate has done their job, Senate has sent out a passed bill, but as I pointed out last time, the House Speaker Boehner has said that he's not going to bring any bill for voting until and
Mm-hmm.
unless a majority of conservatives, Republicans, um, they're the same. A majority has agreed about the major outlines of the bill. So, in other words, if Boehner doesn't want to bring the bill to the floor of the House for voting, it won't come. Today they are going
Mm-hmm.
to meet, and the options they have is I pointed that out last time that they can come up with their own comprehensive bill, which is unlikely. They can vote on the Senate bill, which is unlikely. Most likely outcome of today's meeting is that House will start passing small bits of legislation one at a time. Um,
Okay.
but the one of the conservatives noted that 1 hour of meeting is not enough because the issues are so complex. But I think what they can at least do is come up with a strategy that they want to follow. So today will be a very decisive day for all of us who are waiting to see what happens. As I had pointed out last time also, there is little disagreement about how they want to and the fact that they want to um, reform legal immigration, which is very badly um, scattered all over the place. There's a lot of problems with legal immigration, as we know. 8, 9, 10 years of waiting times for people who have even master's degrees. So there's no disagreement about that. It needs to be done. The disagreement is about amnesty. See, the Republicans
Mm-hmm.
are worried if there are 11 million people who are going to vote. First of all,
Right.
most Republicans come from conservative white districts where they are not going to gain any favor with their voters if they vote
Mm-hmm.
for amnesty. Second problem
Okay.
is historically 75% or maybe at least 66% of the newly um, legalized Hispanics will probably vote for the Democrats. So why should the conservatives create more Democratic votes? This is the main thing that's swaying the Republican
Okay.
um,
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty. So we'll see how it goes. Today is a very important day. We'll of course keep you informed.
Right. Rajivji, now moving on to the questions sent in by our listeners. The first one here, if I may take up,
Please.
it says, I possess a US master's degree in computer science and have also worked in the US for almost 7 years now. Um, Out of these years, I was here on H-1 for 5 years. I have, after the completion of the 5 years, been out of the US and have completed 12 months of physical presence outside the United States. Now, the question is, I do have an employer ready to petition on my behalf, but could you please help in shedding some light on the issue that given my past H1 stay in the US, am I subject to either cap of 65,000 or 20,000?
Well, first of all, there are two options you have. One option is to get all 6 years of your H1 back and then be subject to the cap. So you can be subject to the cap and get all 6 years of H1 back. Or you can possibly, I don't know all the facts, but you can possibly exercise what is called the remainder option. The remainder option works like this. A person in your situation can choose to just take back the 1 year left out of the 6 in the United States. So you could get an H1 for only 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
and that H1 will not be subject to the quota. Don't worry about the 20 or the 65. You are not going to be subject to the quota. Okay, so if you
Okay,
choose to take
okay,
1 year, one of the
okay.
strategies you could follow is to start the green card as well as the H1 and time it properly so that based upon the green card you can keep getting H1 extensions beyond 6 years. In other words, take the remainder option, but have a sufficiently mature green card that there'll be no interruption in your work.
Okay, okay. Uh, Moving on to the next question here, Rajivji. It says, my company is processing my H-1B application. Is there any information regarding dependents that will be accompanying the H-1B applicant to the United States at the time of filing the petition? It is something similar to a question we'd received a few months back also, Rajivji.
Actually, a couple of weeks ago, we talked
Yes.
about it, and what I said then, and I repeat it here. First of all, H4s are given on a walk-in basis based upon approval of the H1 if you are outside the United States. So if your family is outside the United States, the moment your H1 gets approved, you can send the paperwork to them, let's say in India, and they go to the consulate to get H4 visa stamping. There is no processing necessary for H4 at the USCIS level. Uh, on the other hand, if they are in the United States, then all their details are needed to apply for H4. So the answer to your question depends upon whether they are inside or outside USA. If they are inside, no information is needed. If they are outside, we need, I'm sorry, the other way around. If they are outside, no information is needed. If they are inside, we need all their information.
All right. So, Rajivji, these were the queries we've had from our listeners on Mera Sangeet. And thank you so much once again for being a part of our show today and for answering the queries as well as shedding some light on the immigration bill.
My pleasure. Thank you.